Do not buy an Apple TV 4K right now. Seriously, if you're even slightly thinking about upgrading your living room setup, you need to hear this first. Because if even half of what is leaking about Apple's next Apple TV turns out to be true, the current model could feel outdated much faster than anyone expects. And this time, it's not just about a faster chip or minor tweaks. This could be one of the biggest shifts Apple has ever made to how the living room works. The Apple TV 4K we have today launched back in 2022. At the time, it was a solid update. Apple added the A17 Bionic chip, improved HDR support, and finally dropped the price enough to make it more competitive. For many people, it became the smoothest and most reliable streaming box you could buy. But in Apple years, 3 years is a long time. Especially now, when Apple's silicon and software strategy is moving faster than ever. When multiple high-credibility sources start pointing in the same direction, that's when leaks become worth paying attention to. Well-connected journalists like Mark Gurman and analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo have both suggested that Apple is actively working on a new Apple TV. Not just a refresh, but a meaningful upgrade. Faster hardware, possibly smarter software, and maybe even a new pricing strategy. That combination alone tells us this is not random speculation. Something real is coming. The most consistent rumor revolves around the processor. Expectations range from an A16 Bionic to an A17 class chip, depending on Apple's timing and final positioning. And while some people might think a faster chip does not matter for streaming, that idea completely misses how the Apple TV actually feels day to day. This is not about benchmarks. This is about instant app launches, zero stutter when switching users, smoother animations, and no lag when jumping between heavy streaming apps. Anyone who has ever used a cheap streaming stick knows the pain. Small delays, apps freezing, random crashes, slow search results. Apple has always positioned the Apple TV as the device that just works. A newer, more efficient chip allows Apple to protect that experience while building on top of it. And that's where things get really interesting. Apple has made it clear that its future revolves around on-device intelligence. Not cloud-dependent AI, not data-hungry systems, local processing, privacy-focused, fast. We've already seen the first wave of this across iPhone, iPad, and Mac. The living room is the obvious next step, and the Apple TV is the perfect place to bring that experience. Imagine asking Siri for a movie you haven't seen yet, across all your subscriptions, without needing to remember names or genres. Imagine resuming a show that someone else in your house started earlier, without scrolling endlessly. Or asking for a kid-friendly movie that fits a specific age range and runtime, and getting a result instantly. That's not science fiction. That's exactly where Apple's software direction is heading. Beyond voice commands, more local AI power opens the door to features people actually want. Automatic episode recaps, smarter subtitles, real-time translations, better accessibility tools, all processed locally for speed and privacy. None of these features are officially confirmed yet, but they align perfectly with Apple's broader strategy. And tvOS has been waiting for a leap like this for years. Pricing is another reason this generation matters so much. Apple has always struggled to compete with ultra-cheap streaming devices. Not because of quality, but because of cost. Even after lowering prices, Apple TV still sits in a premium category. But repeated reports suggest Apple is at least considering a more aggressive approach this time. The idea is simple. Offer a lower-cost base model with less storage, aimed at people who just want a fast, clean streaming experience. Then offer a higher-end version with more storage, Ethernet, and possibly extra hardware features. If Apple manages to deliver a modern Apple TV powered by a recent chip at a sub-$100 price point, that would be huge, especially for households tired of slow smart TV software and ad-heavy streaming sticks. At the same time, a higher-end model would allow Apple to double down on being the best premium streaming box available. Smoother performance, better integration, longer software support. This two-tier approach fits perfectly with Apple's recent product strategy across iPhones, iPads, and Macs. The Apple TV is also becoming something bigger than just a streaming box. It's slowly turning into the center of the smart home. Apple has been experimenting with this idea for years. There have been patents hinting at Apple TVs with built-in cameras. Continuity Camera already lets you use your iPhone for FaceTime on Apple TV. The next logical step is a model that does not rely on a separate device at all. Imagine sitting on your couch and starting a FaceTime call without touching your phone. A built-in camera automatically framing everyone in the room. Microphones tuned for distance. Seamless integration. Even if Apple does not take that full step in this generation, the direction is clear. The Apple TV is becoming the home hub. With Matter and Thread support expanding, a more powerful Apple TV could mean faster automations, more reliable HomeKit accessories, and less reliance on cloud connections. Lights responding instantly. Scenes triggering without delay. The kind of smart home experience Apple has always promised, but not fully delivered yet. Gaming is another area where a new chip could quietly change everything. Apple has been pushing more console-quality games onto Apple Silicon devices. Controller support is already there. A significantly more powerful Apple TV could become an excellent casual gaming machine. This is not about replacing an Xbox or PlayStation. It's about instant access. No loud fans. No massive updates. Just pick up a controller and play. The ability to start a game on an iPhone or iPad and continue it on the TV fits perfectly with Apple's ecosystem. Stronger hardware would only make that experience smoother and more impressive. Design-wise, expectations are realistic. The compact box is likely staying. Apple rarely changes the look of mature products unless it has to, but the remote is a different story. Improvements here are widely expected. Better ergonomics, backlit buttons, small layout refinements, changes that fix real complaints without overcomplicating things. Ports may also become a differentiator. Ethernet reserved for higher-end models. Additional features unlocked by configuration choices. This kind of segmentation allows Apple to serve different users without compromising the core experience. As for timing, Apple updates the Apple TV on a slower schedule, usually through press releases or smaller announcements. Based on reporting and Apple's past behavior, a 2025 launch window makes sense, likely alongside a tvOS update and a renewed push for Apple TV Plus and Apple Arcade. None of this is officially confirmed. Apple's plans can always change, but the direction is very clear. More power, more intelligence, deeper integration, and potentially a much better price. So, should you wait or buy now? If you already own the 2022 Apple TV 4K and it does everything you need, there is no urgent reason to upgrade today. It's still a capable device. But if you're using an older Apple TV, relying on slow built-in TV apps, or dealing with a laggy streaming stick, waiting could absolutely be worth it. A next-generation Apple TV with modern hardware and smarter software could feel like a massive leap and stay relevant for many years. My honest opinion is this. If Apple delivers even most of what these leaks suggest, this could be the most important Apple TV update ever. Not flashy, not overhyped, just genuinely better in the ways that matter every single day. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who is thinking about buying an Apple TV. And hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next leak the moment it drops.